Defending Nonviolent Resistance by Mohandas K. Gandhi. About the speech. The author of the speech is Mohandas Gandhi. He was one of the 20th century's foremost political, spiritual, moral, and cultural leaders. His campaign of nonviolent protest helped India gain independence from the British Empire. A champion of tolerance and a symbol of Indian national pride, he became known as Mahatma, or Great Soul Gandhi. This speech was given by Mohandas Gandhi before he was sentenced to 6 years in prison for stirring up rebellion. As the leader of the Indian nationalist movement, Gandhi worked tirelessly to achieve political goals nonviolently through boycotts, strikes, and passive refusal. He is honored by the people of India as the father of their nation. The 4 primary standards we will cover with these activities are listed on the left side of the screen. As you complete this lesson, you will use evidence to support claims and make inferences based on what the text states. You will use academic and text-specific vocabulary properly when speaking and writing. In the case of these activities, they will be primarily writing. You will analyze arguments made by the author to determine whether or not the points made are clear and convincing, and you will write your own argument to support a claim made using reason and evidence. The first set of questions you'll be answering are comprehension questions. Comprehension questions simply ask you to recall information that's directly stated in the text. These are typically the easiest types of questions to answer. Question 1. What does Gandhi say cannot be manufactured or regulated by law? In paragraph 10, Gandhi states that affection cannot be manufactured or regulated by law. So in other words, your emotions or feelings about something cannot be controlled by the government. And that is found right in the middle of paragraph 10. Comprehension question 2. Why does Gandhi accept being punished? You can find the answer to this question in paragraph 11. Gandhi says he must refuse to cooperate with evil and that nonviolence implies voluntarily submitting to this penalty. Gandhi believed it was his duty to defend the people of India, and he also understood that in doing so, that he would suffer the consequences, and he did so voluntarily. Comprehension question 3. This is a 2-part question. Make sure you answer both parts. What does Gandhi claim multiplies evil? What rationale does he give to support this claim? Gandhi claims violent non-cooperation multiplies evil. He claims evil can only be sustained by violence and that the withdrawal of support of evil requires complete abstention from violence. Interpretation and analysis questions. These types of questions require the reader to do more than just recall information from the text. Interpretation and analysis of a text requires the reader to analyze information, author's purpose, use of language, etc., and make inferences based on the information provided. This requires the reader to apply knowledge, make decisions, and use strategic thinking skills to solve problems. Your first question asks you to interpret the text. This means to explain the meaning or make clear. The question asks, what does Gandhi mean when he says non-cooperation with evil is as much a duty as is cooperation with good? He means that it isn't enough just to try to do good things. It is also important not to passively allow bad things to happen. Both must be done together to make real change. Gandhi states in the text that he believes it is his duty as a citizen of India to protest the unnatural state in which both the Indians and English are living. He believes that you must protest evil non-violently, just as you must cooperate with the good things that are happening. If you do not react to the bad or behave passively, no change will come. Your next question asks you to critique or complete a detailed analysis or assessment of the text. The question asks, do you agree with Gandhi's assertion that withdrawal of support of evil requires complete abstention from violence? Why or why not? Now note, this is an opinion question, but you must be able to justify your answer. You can choose to agree or disagree with Gandhi's approach to nonviolent protest, but as with all argument type questions, if you can't support your argument with reason and evidence, then your argument will be weak at best. So make sure you use logic and reason when you answer this question. As this is an opinion question, your answers will vary, but you could have something similar to this. I agree with Gandhi's assertion that withdrawal of support of evil requires complete abstention from violence because violence does tend to create more violence. In paragraph 6, Gandhi provides examples of the Zulu revolt and the Boer challenge as violent protests that resulted in even more violence. Many additional examples can be found throughout history from ancient to modern times. For your last question, you are going to be asked to construct. Construct means build or form. In this case, you are going to form an argument. Your question states, write an argument for non-cooperation. How is your argument similar to or different from Gandhi's argument for non-cooperation? Notice this argument question tells you to write an argument in favor of one side. In this case, you are writing an argument for non-cooperation. You aren't given an option. It is important to be able to do this because it helps you understand both sides of an argument. Also note that you are not required to support Gandhi's reasons for non-cooperation, but to give your own reasons in support of non-cooperation. In addition, you are required to compare your argument to Gandhi's. Is your thinking similar to his or different? As long as your argument is sound and your reasoning logical, you should have a solid answer. All right, your answers will vary. Because this is a writing assignment and one based on your own reasoning. But here's an example. So for part A, non-cooperation is a more sympathetic strategy than violence. It may also have more long-term positive economic and social effects. So part A, that is your argument in favor of non-cooperation. B, this is your compare and contrast. So Gandhi's argument for non-cooperation is more concerned with moral responsibility than effectiveness of the tactic. So that explains how your argument for non-cooperation, your reasoning, is different than Gandhi's.